Hello, Professor. This is the lab demo for Lab 8, the random number generator using barrel shifters and an ALU. These bottom two 7 segs will be our shift or rotate input to our barrel shifters. If it's a 0, our barrel shifters would be shifting. If it's a 1, they will be rotating. These bottom two 7 segs will be our input and output of barrel shifter A. Same thing for these two 7 segs. They will be the input and output of barrel shifter B. And these last two 7 segs will be our output of the ALU. So currently I have the ALU set to addition, and currently you just see a bunch of 0s and 8s because our sort of clock to our counters is too fast. So first, what I want to do is I want to load barrel shifter A with 7, and I want to load barrel shifter B with F. So let's do that. So let's set our load input high, and then let's change this to A7. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And then here we have already F, I guess, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that we could sort of change that. So let's change that to F. And then now what we want to do is we sort of, I guess, want to slow our clock so that we sort of see the changes of our output of the barrel shifter. Since we sort of have an up counter sort of changing the select of our barrel shifter, we want to sort of slow that up counter's clock enough so that we sort of see our sort of expected output. So let's input. Okay, so here we see the output of our barrel shifter A, which is shifting, is changing between D, E, 7, B, D, and E, right? And that sort of lines up exactly with what we expect for our output. And the main reason why this is not going in a sequential order is because sort of we're taking bit 3 and bit 1 of the up counter. And you could sort of see with this highlight that it doesn't go, the select doesn't sequentially go from 0, 1, 2, and 3. See here it goes from 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. And then here it's 2, then 3, then 2, and so on. So you sort of see that. And this is sort of the common theme with sort of this design for this lab. And you could sort of see, as we expect for F, if it's shifting, since all the data is 1, we don't really see any change. So our output from the barrel shifter remains F. So let's sort of change these barrel shifters to now rotate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to input or change that now. So now our barrel shifters are going to be rotating, and we see sort of what we expect for an input data of 7. It goes from, there's changes of 7, 3, 1, and 0. Here I sort of show that as well. Depending on our select, we either get 7, 3, 1, or 0. And for F, we get F, 7, 3, and 1. And that's sort of what we expect as well. F, 7, 3, and 1, depending on our select. And let's sort of slow this clock a little bit more. So as I said before, our ALU is set to addition mode. So here we have 3 plus 3, which is 6. A little bit faster. Here we have 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so the addition is looking good. The barrel shifter is looking good. So let's go to, let's say, multiplication. Let's say I want to change the ALU operation to multiplication. So what we want to do is we sort of have this button here to sort of toggle our finite state machine so that these two switches, they route from the barrel shifter to our ALU select. So since I have these switches set to 3, which is our multiplication select input, then when I press this button, we should sort of see the output as the multiplication of this digit and this digit. Okay, so we are now in addition, or sorry, multiplication mode. And then I pressed it again one more time just so that we're in the state where that we could sort of change these rotate or shift to our bell shifter. And note that sort of in the design here, even if I change these switches, the ALU operation is still set to multiplication. So it sort of remembers the sort of input that we put before, even when we're not in the state to sort of change it. So ALU is a multiplication, so we sort of see, let's see. So let's see, easy. Here we go. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 7 times, or 0 times F is 0, and I think you get the idea. Here, 7 times 1 is 7, and so on. And here, of course, we have our sort of reset button, and that concludes our demo. Thank you.